Hi and welcome back. In this video, we will see how the prognostics model that we built before works. We will see how it performs, and then we will also explore how we can deploy it. So we're going to see a couple of options. So we can deploy the model either as a standalone application or as a web app. So here we are back in MATLAB. Let me open an app that I have built with App Designer. We're going to use this app to check how our model performs, and then we will also use it to deploy the prognostics model. So here we have the remaining useful life in terms of weeks as estimated by the model, and then we have a couple of axes to better interpret the results. We also have a couple of buttons here. So we have one to predict and then one to select the files. So if we right click on the button, we can go to the callback that we have implemented before. And this is essentially the code that you can write to customize the behavior of your app. And essentially, this is what's happening behind the scenes when we click on the predict button. So essentially what we do here, we read the data that we select, we cut the initial data and extract features, we perform PCA using the training data, and then we predict the remaining useful life of the machine. So if you right click on this function, you can notice that we are here implementing the two steps that we talked about in the previous video. So there is the update function and then the predict RUL function. Okay. So the code view is basically where you can write your code that implements the behavior of the app. So if we switch to design view, we can run the app and see how the model performs. So let me actually close this. So the first thing that we do here, we select the data. So this is the data that we measure from the flowback machine. And let's select, for example, the data that we measured in week 110. We click on predict, and then we see the results. So our model is telling us that we have 47 weeks before the machine fails. But of course, this is just an estimation. So this is a prediction that we do with a certain degree of confidence. So here with the red, we have the extrapolation of the health indicator of our machine. So the health indicator could be anywhere between these two red lines. And this is the PDF of the remaining useful life of our machine. So the model is telling us that we have 47 weeks of remaining useful life. So maybe this means that we don't need to perform maintenance right now. So for this reason, we wait 10 more weeks, we measure the data, and then we perform again the prediction. So after selecting the data, we click on predict. So now you can see that the remaining useful life is actually gotten down to 32. This is how the PDF changed. And here you can see how the confidence interval is getting tighter. So we are gaining confidence about our prediction. And this is normal because we're getting closer to failure. But 32 weeks might still be a good amount of time to have our system work. So maybe we don't need to perform maintenance right now. And for this reason, we just wait 15 more weeks, we measure the data, and then we launch the prediction again. So now you can see that the remaining useful life is down to 14 weeks. So now it's really up to us to decide whether we want to perform maintenance now or maybe wait a few more weeks. But essentially, you can see that the intersection between the health indicator and the threshold in black is getting closer. Okay, so now how do we deploy this app? So how do we share this app with other people so that they can use it? So we have different options that you can select directly from App Designer. So you can either share this as a MATLAB app so that people with a MATLAB license can use it, or maybe you can create a web app so that people can access a link and use this app as if they had MATLAB. Or maybe you can just create a standalone desktop app. So you can just create an executable. So in our case, we will look at how we can create a web app. So once the packaging is done, we open the folder. So what we can find here is a file, in particular a CDF file that we will need to copy. So we copy this file and then we open the web app server. And this comes with MATLAB compiler. So we open the app folder, and the only thing we need to do is just paste the CTF file that we copied before. And this is essentially all you need to do to deploy your app. So now we go back here and we open the home page. So this is where you will find all the apps that you have deployed. So in this case, we only have one because we only had one CTF file in the web app server folder. And you can see that now you can use the app as if it was actually installed in MATLAB. But basically, you can use this app just by accessing the link, and you don't need to have a MATLAB license to run this. So as you can see, you can do exactly what we did before. So you can select file that you can call predict, and then you can see how the remaining useful life goes down. And then again, you can select data for future weeks. Once again, you open the file and then predict. Now, if you want to share this with other people, all you need to do is just copy this link and give it to them. So this brings us to the end of our journey together. We have seen how to create an app in App Designer and deploy it as a web app or standalone executable. So I'd like to thank you for being on this journey with me, and I'll see you next time.